The question I often get is how I came about creating this program. When I did my own doctoral research on teams, and in particular team learning, I came across the concept of team psychological safety for the first time. And right away, I was very interested, and I made it a key part of my own research model that I validated. But in addition to my theoretical research interests, I also started to measure team psychological safety with the teams I was working with as a team coach or a facilitator, with very interesting results. And I started to share these results in conferences, and I had some participants come up to me to say, this is really interesting. How can you help us apply the same model with the teams we work with? And that is basically how this program came to be. I created it so that team leaders and facilitators, team coaches, understand really what team psychological safety is about, how you can measure it, how you can impact the 7 elements and the 5 foundations. And a second question I often get is, how is this program different from other programs that indeed exist out there? Professor Edmondson's model has been published more than 20 years ago, and it's open for anybody to access. And for sure, I hope that many people use the model to the fullest benefit that they can get out of it. I think the Team as One Team Psychological Safety Certified Practitioner Program is unique in 3 different ways. The first is that we stick to team psychological safety only. Professor Edmondson's original research is around teams. Yet, as people have gotten interested in this concept, they have started to blur the lines about the scope within which they look at psychological safety. Some talk about psychological safety at the level of an organization or even at the level of a country. That is something we stay away from in this program because the original model, the research, the validated research, focuses on the interpersonal relationships that exist in a team. That's why in this program, we only refer to team psychological safety, never to psychological safety in general. The second unique character of this program is that we really go in depth of the model. The original model of Professor Edmondson is fascinating. She has a powerful survey instrument to measure team psychological safety in a team with 7 survey statements that we associate with 7 elements of team psychological safety, with also 5 antecedents, those elements that make that psychological safety in a team is this way or that way. We call those the 5 foundations. We really go in depth to look at the model that says that team psychological safety impacts team learning, which in turn impacts team performance. We want to make sure that as a team leader or as a facilitator, when you apply the model, you really know what it is about and you master the whole model and therefore can apply it more effectively with the teams you work with. And the third dimension where this program is unique is the extent to which it is practical. And that's a feedback we often get from participants who complete the program, who say that they really walk away with a whole set of tools and techniques they can use with the team. There's a lot of resources out there that talk about team psychological safety, but they're very generic and vague when it comes to how do you actually make this happen? And this is a feedback we often get from participants who sign up for the program, who say they know about psychological safety, they know about team psychological safety, but they're just struggling about how you can actually make that happen in a team. There's a whole set of tools and techniques in the program that are connected with either one of the 7 elements or one of the 5 foundations, so that practitioners really have a full toolkit to work with the teams they are supporting. Part of the program is that participants will also design an intervention, a program for a particular team, connecting it with the model. We want to make sure that a team leader or a practitioner, when they create a program and intervention for a team, that they connected with the model explicitly with those elements that this team needs support with, or those foundations where this team needs some help with. The benefit that the team gets from the program is not just short-lived, but is actually sustainable, and make sure that this team can continue to grow on its path of learning and improving performance. There are many solutions that propose to measure the level of psychological safety in a team. We have the same. We stick with Professor Edmondson's original survey instrument with the 7 statements, the 7 elements. We create a report that shows how each of the 7 elements shows up, that shows how team psychological safety as a whole, as an aggregate, shows up. And we also show through the traffic light chart how each of the elements for a particular team is positioned towards the green zone, strengths of the team, towards the red zone, areas where the team needs support. Of the many hundred participants who have completed the program, we, without exception, always get 2 kinds of feedback. The first is that they really learned a lot in terms of content, even those who are already very familiar with team psychological safety, because we really unpack the theory in a very intense way. And the second feedback we get is an appreciation of the whole set of tools and techniques that are part of the program that a practitioner can apply to work with a team to improve those areas where the team needs work on, to make sure that in the long run, the team can continue to learn, the team can continue to improve. So these are some key differences where this Team as One, Team Psychological Safety Certified Practitioner program is different and worth your while.